Bob, it's been a couple of weeks since we've had a chance to chat about Whitworth softball. 2 weekends ago, went down to Willamette and came away with a split against the Bearcats. Maybe not quite what we had hoped for coming out of that weekend, but still our first conference victories of the year. Talk about what we can build on from that weekend.
I think the biggest thing that we took out of that weekend, at least me personally, we really haven't had a chance to digest that as a team yet. Kind of going into spring break, letting a lot of the players go be with families and recover a little bit. So we'll have a little bit of a Truth Tuesday today before we flush that and move on this week. But for me, I'm very happy with the consistency of our pitching. Defense has been pretty good. We just have not been able to string hits along throughout this entire season, and so that has become something that is it's going to get going this week sort of feeling, and it's just not happening. Those are games, and with all due respect to Willamette, obviously, and I even spoke about this going into it. I knew that they were going to be better pitching. I knew those would be more difficult games. Any games on the road in this conference are, but we've got to come away with 4 wins there. We just did not hit well enough. So we've dug ourselves a hole, and it's not going to get easier this week as we try to dig ourselves out of it, except for the fact that, of course, we get to be at home a little bit. But we have got to figure out a way. I've got to figure out a way to get them to play better as a team. Because right now we're in our heads individually because everyone wants to do so well. Everyone wants to get that significant hit that kind of propels the team. But I think there's a lot of individual pressure. So we got to figure out this week really how to come together as a team and start putting hits together.
How was this past week off, period of time off, maybe a chance to reset, recalibrate for this group?
Yeah, so that's not something I was wanting to do. I wanted everybody to stay in town. I wanted to have practices, and then as we started working through the team and speaking with individual players and seeing what others needed to go do, being a student athlete at Whitworth is really hard. Academics comes first. I think there's been that grind of being students and the difficult non-conference schedule that we put together, and of course starting the season with Linfield, all of these pressures. I'm hoping that we're going to see this team come back rejuvenated. I think coaches who want to keep grinding, there's something to be said about that, but part of me, I'm hoping my instincts are right here, part of me thinks that this week may have been really good for them all to either stay in town and practice on their own or go home and be around family and really use a great spring/Easter weekend to get rejuvenated for what is going to be a really important couple of weeks for us if we intend to make some good moves and be where we think we're supposed to be.
It's going to start this weekend with Lewis and Clark College, a team that has been on a steady improvement over the last few years. Talk about the challenges that they're going to present up here at Marks Field.
Yeah, so I think of 2 things right away. When I came to this program in 2015, even when Whitworth was winning the conference or at the top of the conference and Lewis and Clark would have been middle or bottom of the conference, for some reason, their coaches always had this team. It's always been a grind. They always make you work. So regardless, I expect that anyway. But you're right. Of all the teams in this conference, this is probably the one that I know the best just because there are 4 players on that team that I really tried to recruit. And then there is one this year who's off to a great start that I was interested in, but just flat out because of numbers, I wasn't going to be able to bring her in, and she's off to a great start as a freshman. So I know this team pretty well. I think they've got the 3rd best pitcher in our conference, and that certainly helps. Off to a 7-1 start. We played a like team that they swept. I frankly think they should be 8-0. So we can't overestimate or underestimate confidence. And you come out and start the season as well as they have, combined with I think some balance, maybe the best balance that they've had in a while. This will be tough for us, but it's one of those things. We've done it here before, and we have the players on this team that have done this before, and that's really defending our home schedule, and that's what we have to do the rest of this season.